Hello, and thank you for tuning in again live today. It is Monday, May 13th. It is noon, and happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. You are currently watching the Skill Building Monday Drawing Group here live on the Reinventing the Tattoo Network, and I am your host, Jason Leeser. And if this is working for you, please drop us a comment, hit that like button, let us know in the chat panel and let us know that this is working for you and that you can hear me and I'm coming through loud and clear. And welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo community, where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are encouraged to join in these live streams, real world events, to share and inspire, ultimately just create better art and tattoos together. We beam out nearly every day, and with your help, have evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on demand tattoo and art shows that have all been receiving rave reviews. You can find Reinventing the Tattoo at www.reinventingthetattoo.com and you can try it out for free. You do not have to subscribe right away. We've got three different options for you to go through and try it out. The first option is a sample webinar from the Reinventing the Tattoo canon where you get to go through and kind of see what it's like to get the full Canon subscription. The second option is to get some free advice from Guy Aitchison about your unique goals. And this does include a correspondence with him about that. And the third option is to take a comprehensive tattoo history course from Jay Brown. For fellow tattoo history nerds such as myself, you cannot go wrong with the tattoo history course. It is absolutely incredible, extremely comprehensive. You'll absolutely love it. At reinventingthetattoo.com, you can also find access to a full event schedule with weekly and special event live stream details. For example, if you wanted to jump in on today's session and you wanted to join live, you could very easily go to reinventingthetattoo.com, go to the events area, and pull up our event calendar, which has access to go through and join these live streams. Um, Highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun to get on here, kind of discuss whatever you want to discuss, and get some feedback live, while we're on the air. You can also find access to the Reinventing 24/7 channel at reinventingthetattoo.com. And that has 13 different episodes playing at any given time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that is accessible on all web enabled devices. So feel free to tune in, watch some reruns. It's a great way to go through and stream us. At reinventingthetattoo.com, you also have access to a whole host of professional development courses from over 20 world class tattoo artists. Artists such as Bob Tyrell, who's got a full skulls seminar on there. So if you've ever wanted to know how Bob Tyrell tattoos skulls, you can watch it all right there. Artists such as Andre Malcolm, who has a full koi fish half sleeve seminar. BJ Betts has a lettering seminar and a whole lot more, all available at reinventingthetattoo.com. You can also find us in the App Store, both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, as well as our Reinventing the Tattoo YouTube channel, our Reinventing the Tattoo Roku channel, which is a lot like our Reinventing 24/7 channel. It's got 12 to 15 different episodes playing at any given time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you can also find us in all of the major podcast directories, such as Apple and Spotify. Or you can do what most people do and just pull up your browser and do a quick browser search for Reinventing the Tattoo, and you'll find it all, except for the book, which is still currently out of print. Unfortunately, you cannot get another copy of the book because they do not make them anymore. If you do happen to find a copy of the book for sale, please let me know. I would like to purchase it and add that to my library and my collection. Once again, if this is working for you and I'm coming through loud and clear, please drop us a comment. Let me know that you can hear me all right, so that I'm not just talking to dead air. Greatly appreciate that. We have a number of weekly staple shows we always encourage people to tune into. Starting off on Mondays at 9 a.m., we have Drawing for Tattooers with James Wisdom, where we get to go through and discuss basic drawing techniques and strategies. It helps us get back to our roots of being a fine artist and a tattooer. So it just kind of helps us get back to the basics. Um, I always recommend tuning into that. I try to join it as often as I can. It's an absolutely great time with great people, and we cover a lot of great stuff. And that's 9 a.m. Drawing for Tattooers with James Wisdom on Mondays. Following that, at noon, you have this show, which is the Skill Building Monday Drawing Group, an open place where you can come to go through and work on building up some of your skills. Maybe it's something that's being covered in the Monday night classes. Maybe it's just something you're struggling with or you want a different perspective on. All of that and more is discussed here live on the Skill Building Monday Drawing Group. Following that and capping off Mondays at 9 p.m., we have a subscribers exclusive drawing group with Sandy McAndrew from the Reinventing the Tattoo Network. And that is only available to people that have a subscription to either the Reinventing the Tattoo Canon, the Reinventing the Tattoo Evolution course, or the separate subscription for the Monday evening drawing courses. I highly recommend doing those, even if you make it to every other one of them. I did them for about 2 years, and you can see a noticeable difference in the work that I was doing before I joined and the work that I'm doing now. So I cannot stress this enough. It will definitely help you get to another level and help you get back to some of those fine art fundamentals that we have. Following Monday, on Tuesday at 11 a.m., we have the Tattoo Weekly Show with Gabe Ripley, Lauren Gregory, and Fawn Baker, where we get to go through and discuss current events in the tattoo industry, such as new legislation being passed, maybe it's new developments in travel visas or travel restrictions, anything that might be important to the tattoo industry as a whole will be discussed on the Tuesday, 11 a.m. Tattoo Weekly Show with Gabe Ripley, Lauren Gregory, and Fawn Baker. Following that, on Wednesdays at noon, we have the Tattoo Now Show with Gabe Ripley, where we get to go through and do a deeper dive into the business aspect behind tattooing. Whether it's applying for a travel visa, marketing strategies, branding guidelines, maybe it's a little bit of time spent going over business cards, which seems to be a dying thing in this day and age, unfortunately. Maybe it's how to attract new clients or employee retention, how to keep your artists working at the studio you work at. Uh, all of that and a lot more, anything business related, you can find that at the Tattoo Now Show with Gabe Ripley, and that's Wednesdays at noon. Following that and capping off the week, Thursdays at 6 p.m., we have the Tattoo Collecting 101 podcast with Fawn Baker, where we get to go through and tell some stories about our tattoo collections and what it was like and what we've learned along the way. We do have a couple of very special live events coming up, starting off on May 17th through the 19th in Columbus, Ohio. We have the Hell City Tattoo Convention. Reinventing the Tattoo will be live at Hell City, and it is going to be an absolutely epic time. The lineup is incredible this year. We have guest artists, including Paul Booth, the master of darkness himself. I'm very excited to meet him. Derb Morrison will be there. The legendary Joe Capobianco, Jimmy Litwalk, Nico Perez, Ty McEwen, James Vaughn, Jesse Levitt, Ron Earhart, Marshall Bennett, and of course, yours truly will also be there tattooing. I do still have one or two different appointment slots available, so if you are looking to get tattooed at Hell City, you need someone to tattoo you, let me know. After that, on June 23rd through 25th, also in Columbus, Ohio, we have the Tattoopreneur Conference, the Tattoo Entrepreneurship Conference, first one of its kind. And that will be co hosted at the Red Tree Gallery by Dark Age Studios. And that will be 3 days of business, art, and tattoo seminars with Bob Tyrell, Haley Adams, Jake Meeks, James Wisdom, Rember, and of course, yours truly. I will also be presenting there. So feel free if you are really looking to get some more inside information on tattoos and business aspects. If you're really trying to look to grow your brand, take a look at the Tattoo Entrepreneurship Conference. It's going to be absolutely awesome. I cannot wait for that one either. Would like to go through at a point in time some of the responses, some of the people that maybe should happen. Starting off with worldtattooevents.com, the largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. They're constantly keeping everything updated, as we know, living in this post pandemic era. There are still tattoo events and conventions that are getting rescheduled. So if you would like to go through and find out the latest, most up to date tattoo event information coming to a city or town near you, or maybe it's one you plan on visiting, it's kind of how I book all my vacations. Take a look at worldtattooevents.com. Would also like to thank tattoonow.com, technology for tattooers, leading edge in professional development, management, and digital tools for tattooers of all levels. They're 100% competitive with any type of CRM, mailing list, scheduling software out there. So if you're really looking to help streamline your booking process or looking for new ways to really expand marketing strategies to get more people to come through the door that really want to get the kind of tattoos that you really want to do, take a look at tattoonow.com. They've been doing this for over 20 years and you cannot go wrong with them. Would also like to go through and thank the man, the myth, and the legend, Guy Aitchison at guyaitchison.com. He is the founder and inspiration behind Reinventing the Tattoo. You can go to guyaitchison.com where you can pick up a copy of his biomech encyclopedia, some of his tutorial DVDs. I believe he still has one or two custom coil machines for sale, as well as countless prints and fine art prints and countless other items available, all for sale at guyaitchison.com. Would also like to go through and say a very special thank you and personal shout out to Amy Nichols over at the Apprenticeship Diaries. An absolutely wonderful source of information if you are a tattoo apprentice or an apprentice hopeful. Take a look at the Apprenticeship Diaries to learn a whole lot more about what you can expect in a tattoo apprenticeship, how tattoo apprenticeships work, and what might be required of you depending on the apprenticeship that you're going for. So it's just filled with absolutely great information. Take a look at the Apprenticeship Diaries with Amy Nichols. As always, we ask that if you like today's show, please go through, post a positive review on the channel, help us get the word out. Tag everyone you know that you think might enjoy this show, and let's get some more interaction going. If you would like to host a Reinventing the Tech event, become a sponsor of our community, or if you are looking for a fine art or a tattoo critique, you can always email management at reinventingthetattoo.com. We will get back to you as soon as we can. And that kind of wraps up today's intro. Uh, I will be going through in just a minute and we will get started. Oh, go away. Notifications. I absolutely hate notifications. Um, Today's topic is going to be an interesting one. We're going to be talking about convention prep and convention packing. It's going to be a shorter episode today. I do have a lot of stuff to do in preparation for Hell City, which I absolutely cannot wait for. I'm just praying I do not overpack for this show because I had no habit of doing that. So I've given this advice before to different people. Um, oh, it's Honey Tea Shop. Hey, how's it going? Juan Jose Zwernier. Sorry if I butchered your last name there. Thank you very much for commenting. And Atomic Injections, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well. So, convention prep, right? So, the way that I think about tattoo conventions is like this, right? I ask myself realistically in that kind of a setting, how many tattoos can I knock out per day? Right? Assuming I have no appointments booked. Oh, Creature's Cave joined us. What's up? Assuming I have no appointments booked and these are all walk up tattoos, right? How many tattoos could I tattoo in a day? You know, and I kind of base my packing and the amount of supplies that I pack on that. And the reason being is because that will help me justify and rationalize the amount of supplies that I will need to bring with me. Okay. Hypothetically speaking, say you've got a handful of baseball sized, little one shot banger tattoos that you're going to have out as flash, and you're trying to pick up some new clients at a show, which is what I always try to do. I always try to leave room for walk ups. It's how you develop new clientele. If you're constantly just showing up with your own appointments, your own people that you're tattooing, and you're not trying to pick up clientele in that area, eh, kind of, to me, would kind of defeat the purpose unless you're just chasing a trophy, which is fine for those of you out there that like to have a collection of trophies. By all means, you do you. I'm trying to grow my business and get more clients in different areas so that I can go anywhere I want to go and have clientele waiting for me to tattoo them. One of the best ways to do that is by taking walk in clients in that area, building that reputation, building that relationship with those people. And you know what? You keep going back to that same show every year, you're gonna build a clientele base. People are gonna see the work that you do, and they're gonna want to get work done by you. That's the way things go. So I like to vision, okay, realistically speaking, if I have a whole bunch of baseball sized tattoos, what am I going to need for that? Maybe one or two liners, and then maybe a 7 mag or an 11 mag, depending on what it is. Um, I'm going to go through and pack based off of that. Now, obviously, the bigger the tattoo, the longer it's going to take. And the longer it takes, the less time that you're going to have to get other people in. So, if you're planning on bringing anything bigger than like baseball or softball sized tattoos, maybe now you're only looking at doing what? Maybe a small walk up and then a medium sized tattoo that day. That should, small walk up, maybe 2 hours, right? To execute that after you get the stencil on and get set up and everything like that. So you're looking at a total of what, maybe 2.5 hours for that, baseball, softball size tattoo. Um, cool. Great. So there's, out of the amount of time that you have each day to tattoo, that amount of time is gone. Now you've got time for what, maybe one medium sized tattoo. Maybe it's, 7, 8 inches tall, by maybe 4 or 5 inches wide. And maybe that tattoo is going to take you 4 to 5 hours, you know, with setup, breakdown, cleanup, all that stuff, drawing time. Well, now you're looking at a full 8 hour day right there at a convention, right? So that's only two tattoos that day that you did. So what does that mean? That means you would only really need to pack for enough supplies to do those two tattoos that day. Um, so I try to pack based on that. As I'm packing, I'm going through and I'm visualizing my setup for a tattoo. If I was going to go through and set everything up, what would I need? Right? Plastic wrap. Perfect. Lay that down. Okay, cool. Um, uh, Stainless steel tray that I can take and completely wipe down, uh, that's got like a little ledge on it so that way if my rinse cup spills, I'm not too worried about it. It's like, oh, okay, but at least it's not traveling over a whole table, right? Tattoo inside of a tray. It really, really helps, especially one with like a little ledge on it. It's really going to help contain anything that might spill and help prevent any type of cross contamination or anything that might get a little out of hand. Always recommend doing that. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to say to myself, okay, if I'm setting up, what are the things I'm going to need? I'm going to need plastic wrap. That's a given. I'm going to need some type of glide or lubricant or something like that. Vaseline, petroleum jelly, something along those lines. A&D ointment, whatever your poison is that you like, as far as that's concerned. Cool. So I'm going to lay out a little bit of that, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to put out my ink caps. Okay. Okay. Well, now I know I need all of that stuff. Maybe it's A&D packets, tongue depressor, if you use that to kind of spread that out, plastic wrap. So that all has to go in my box. And now I'm going to need small ink caps, medium ink caps, big ink caps. Right. And I'm just visualizing all of this as I'm going through and unpacking. Setting up my machines. My machines need to get packed. Disposable grips need to get packed. Barrier sleeves need to get packed. Tape needs to get packed. Do not ever work at a tattoo convention without tape. You are asking for problems. I bring like 4 different kinds of tape with me every time. Um, and I wish I was joking. I'm not. I bring Gorilla Tape, or duct tape works as well. I bring transport tape, paper tape, masking tape. I bring all different types of tape because it always comes in handy for something. Coband. I'm going to bring a couple of rolls of Coband, maybe 4, 5, 6 rolls of Coband, to kind of put over or wrap anything down that I need to wrap down. Coband also works if you do forget your transport or your paper tape. You can also use Coband to help keep your barrier down after you're done the tattoo. Some clients that might be allergic to latex or any type of adhesive wrap their arm in Coband. Unless it's like a big old back piece or something like that, use Coband. It's real easy for limbs. It's non adhesive, so they're not going to break out in anything, and it's going to keep everything where it needs to stay. Food for thought, right? I'm probably going to bring a small roll of barrier film with me. Why? Because I like to have it in case I need it. Um, I'm going to bring a couple of drape sheets. Probably not too many because I'm not going to be there, only tattooing like huge pieces the whole time. If I was, I would only bring one per day. Why? Because that's all I'm going to be able to do is go through one per day if I'm working on huge pieces. But if I'm working on only huge pieces, I'm only going to bring enough supplies to tattoo that one big piece, right? Unless you're tattooing them multiple days in a row and then you bring the same thing for every day. And that makes things a lot easier and a lot lighter for you to pack. But we're going based on the assumption that we don't have any appointments set up and we are going to be taking walk ups all day. So what do? We bring, a drape sheet that we can cut in half just in case. If we need another one, we can ask someone that we work near if they've got an extra one, or we can go out and buy an extra one. It's fine. Um, there's usually companies that are giving out samples too, so don't discount that. Or instead of a drape sheet, wrap your massage table in plastic wrap. Novel idea, right? Take a trash bag. And I always bring a couple extra trash bags with me. Take a trash bag, cut the bottom off of it, cut it in half so that the whole thing can lay out flat. Now you have one big barrier that will allow you to go through and not use a drape sheet. So there's always ways that you can adapt to everything, right? But still, I would only need to bring one of those per day because most of the time I'm not going to be sitting down and, tattooing someone's back piece for 3 days in a row. I've never had anyone request that of me. So once again, I'm going to bring some drape sheets. I'm going to go through and I'm going to bring everything I need. I'm going to bring wave aside, mat aside, cav aside, whichever side you decide to use, right? I'm going to bring a bottle of that for cleanup after the fact. I'm going to use as many disposable things as I can. Why? Because I can throw it out. Even if it's unopened. If you don't use all your tongue depressors you brought with you, chuck them at the end of the show. Make your bag lighter when you go to leave than it was when you brought it in. Unless you're like me and you buy, 14, 15 prints while you're there. And then it's like, okay, how do I get these home? But that's a different story. I love collecting fine art prints. So I always come back with one. Um, but it's something if you have to kind of visualize. Then you have to ask yourself, okay, what am I tattooing? Am I only doing black and gray work or am I doing color work? Okay. Say I'm doing color. Cool. Now I know, now I need to ask myself, what kind of a color palette am I using? What are my most commonly used colors? If I'm using, say an 8 color set, or an 8 color palette, cool. What's the red that I go to the most often? What's the yellow I go to the most often? What's the blue I go to the most often? Keep it simple. Don't be afraid to mix your colors on the fly. Lord knows that's why we take color theory courses. We know that, well, if we have red and we have yellow, we can make orange, right? So do we need to bring orange? Probably not. If we know that if we have red and we've got green, we can make brown. Great. We know that if we have yellow and we have purple, we can make a really cool, muted, like dulled out version of a yellow or a really kind of muted version of a purple. We can go through and mix these colors to make every other color we need. So, how many colors do we really need to pack? Makes you think, right? I do know some people that will travel with a full set of colors, but they will actually go through and have like little half-ounce bottles to take just to conventions. That's great. Feel free to go through and do that if you so choose to. You don't have to, but you can. However, you may run into certain issues with health inspection if they do require you to look at the expiration date on the bottle. Well, that's going to be an issue. So keep that in mind. If you decide to do black and gray, cool. That's easy. You just bring your gray wash set and some white. Done. Whatever. Or you just bring a bottle of black and white and you're done. Fine. Not a problem. But it depends on how you tattoo. Bring a couple of your favorite groupings. I always like to bring a couple of bigger mags with me, maybe a couple of 19 mags or like a two 19s and a 23, just in case someone wants something a decent size, or I've got some background to do behind a piece I just did. It's always nice to have something like that on hand. Do I ever use them? Hardly ever, but it does happen sometimes. So keep that in mind. Bring some bigger mags, bring your primary groupings, 7 mags, 11 mags, or 13 mags or whatever. Bring a couple of loose, small round shaders. Bring liners in whatever size you might need. I like to bring every size liner I have from 3 through 14, just because I don't know what I'm going to be tattooing if I'm doing walk ups. Maybe they pick one of my pre drawn designs. Cool. Now I know I need a 3 liner. I know I'm going to need a loose 7 or a tighter 9, and then a loose 14. And boom, right there, I'm set for my 3 groupings. I always like to use multiple line weights. Some people out there might just do single line weight. That's fine. It's up to you. But that's the way I like to tattoo. I like to have that line weight contrast. So I'll go through and I'll make sure that I've got each of those groupings packed. I'll look at the pre-drawn designs that I have set and ready to go. Cool. If I was to tattoo this, what would I need to bring? Maybe a 8 or a 9 round shader, a couple of liners, 11 mag, 15 mag, maybe, and just see how it goes. Um, Worst case scenario, especially if you're traveling internationally, if there are things you might be able to buy at the show, buy them at the show. This includes gloves. Okay. If you need to, go through and buy a box of gloves at the show. There will be a vendor there. Why? Because it's a tattoo convention. You have to have a vendor there. People are going to forget things. If there is no vendor there, find a pharmacy nearby and go by and pick up a box of gloves. But still, it cuts down on weight if you are traveling internationally. Bring your absolute essentials. That's it. Do not overpack if you are traveling internationally. It is not going to do you any favors. It is not going to be good. Keep your weight low, because if you're putting your luggage on an airplane, most airplanes have a 50-pound limit for your checked baggage. That includes tattoo cases. They don't care what you do. As long as it's 50 pounds or below, they're not going to ding you with an extra charge. Okay. Because remember, you got to pay to check that luggage on the way there and on the way back. Keep that in mind. This is all just stuff I've picked up over the years. So please heed my warnings about some of this stuff. If you're traveling locally to a local show, cool. Overpack. Feel free to if you want to. Um, I don't usually recommend doing that, but sometimes it is nice to go through and have a really sweet, booth set up, a couple of clamp on displays, display your prints, sell some merch, that kind of stuff. Um, I only typically do that if I'm working at a local show. If I'm traveling, say I'm working at the Puerto Rico show, cool. I'm going to bring a minimal setup. I'm going to put my prints out. I might bring 2 or 3 prints. I'll put those out on the table, or I'll hang those up next to my convention banner with a big bright sign that says prints for sale. This way people know I have prints for sale, right? And then that way it doesn't take up any area that you might be using to try to sell your designs. So, food for thought. Um, go through, visualize what you need for every tattoo that you might do. This way, you already have an idea of what you're going to need to bring with you. Pack all of that stuff up. I recommend a Pelican case. They work really, really well, and they're really, really sturdy. And typically, I can fit just about everything I need into one. Um, Food for thought, like I said. Always make sure you bring an extension cord. Always bring a power strip. Always, 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 always bring a power strip. Always bring a light, like an LED light panel or a ring light if you need a ring light. Bring everything that you think you might need. Um, I like my LED light panel. It works really well. I can put it on a tripod and boom, it's right there. And it's really small, fits right in my box. You can get them on Amazon for cheap. I think I have a 10-inch one, but you can get whatever size you want. I got mine, I think it was on sale for like $30, and it's like a professional diffused light panel with adjustable color, temperature, and all types of fancy stuff that I don't need to know about. Um, but, pack all that up. Typically, in my big Pelican case, um, I can fit everything I need to tattoo. You know, my massage table will be extra. I always bring my own, especially if it's a local show. I don't want to have to rely on renting one. You can rent one, that's fine. But what you're going to be paying to rent one, you could very easily buy one. Um, this is a little travel hack and convention hack. Some people have taken light of. Amazon will deliver anywhere in the world. Okay. Amazon sells super cheap massage tables. What's going to cost you more? Buy an $80 massage table, have Amazon deliver it to the place you're staying at that convention, use it for the weekend, and then, give it to a local artist in case they need one, or trash it afterwards. They're $80, whatever. You're probably going to be making more than that at the tattoo convention over that weekend anyway. Can you afford to toss away an $80 massage table? Yeah. Have it delivered. Amazon will deliver it. That's less packing you need to do. Oh, but what are you going to sit on? Those steel folding chairs? Absolutely not. I hate those things. I never sit on one at a show ever. I absolutely hate them. I recommend, once again, utilize Amazon. Amazon sells rolling stools for really cheap. Really? Buy one on Amazon, have it delivered to where you're staying, bring it to the show with you there, and then throw it out after the fact. If you absolutely fall in love with it, find a way to bring it home or ship it home or buy another one when you get home. Um, it's absolutely a travel hack that will save you time. Not only will it save you time, it will save you money. Utilize that. Amazon will deliver stuff for you. Why have it delivered to where you are and then have to deliver it yourself to the show? That's nonsensical. Um, it's something that I've come up with. I've done that a few times with rolling stools, massage tables. I even bought like a cheap armrest off of Amazon and had it shipped to the hotel I was at one year for a convention because I forgot my armrest back at home. You can't go wrong with it. Um, yeah, it makes sense, right? Um, Utilize that little hack. It's going to help save you time. If you forget something, talk to your neighbors. Talk to the people that are working either side of you. This is a tattoo community. We are here to help each other. Even though, yeah, technically we are a little bit of competition. Healthy competition is a good thing, but that doesn't mean you have to be a dick to the person next to you. Once again, food for thought. There are very few things that I would not try to do that with using the Amazon hack. Tattoo pigments is one of them. I wouldn't do that. Um, any type of, tattoo needle or anything like that. Don't do that. Bring the good stuff. Plus, that stuff's light enough that you should be able to pack it anyway. So let's think about this logically. Um, it's little stuff like that, little tricks like that, that can really, really save you a lot of time, effort, energy, and headache. This is just food for thought coming from me. I've worked at plenty of shows over the years, over the weeks. What am I talking about? Um, where's my? Yeah, this is all within the past like 2 years. I don't know. Yeah, I've got Puerto Rico, Paradise Gathering, Philadelphia, Explorer Expo. Um, I actually have my artist pass from every single convention I've ever worked at going back 10, 15 years. It's an impressive little collection. But it's like, yeah, I've got a little experience when it comes down to traveling and doing this and talking to other artists that travel, especially guys that travel internationally. What kind of tricks do you use to pack, right? I'll ask people flat out, like, I overpacked. What can I do to cut down next time? You know, little things can really take you a long, long way. Instead of bringing a whole box of gloves, take a half a box, put them in a big Ziploc bag. There you go. Because you can compress that Ziploc bag and squeeze it into little nooks and crannies instead of trying to smash a whole box in there, which you're probably not going to use a whole box of gloves throughout the weekend anyway. Let's be honest. Um, little stuff like that can make a world of difference. Are you really going to go through an entire 1 ounce bottle of pigment? I don't think so. Try if you can. And this is something everyone out there probably needs to get on these ink companies, because I'm sorry, but I do not want to have to travel with a 1 ounce bottle of color when I am not going to use a 1 ounce bottle of color. I'm going to use at the most maybe a half ounce. At the most. Do you know how far you can stretch a half ounce of a one color? Pretty far. And I can guarantee you're not going to use it in 3 days, right? I mean, you can fill up huge ink caps, right? Multiple huge ink caps with one color. So why would you need to bring an entire ounce of color with you? That's just extra weight and it doesn't make sense. So I personally, if I have the ability to, depending on the show that I'm working at, I'll actually take some tiny little half-ounce bottles, make sure they're nice and sterile and clean, and I'll bring those with me of the colors that I plan on using. Why? Because I'm not going to go through all of it. I know this. So why would I bother to go through and bring an entire 1 ounce bottle with me? Makes no sense. Um, if you can buy half-ounce bottles at whatever ink company you prefer, do that. Buy half-ounce bottles from them. Buy travel bottles. If they have quarter-ounce bottles, buy those. That's even better. You'll probably go through, if you're doing all color tattoos all weekend long, you'll probably go through a quarter-ounce bottle of color. Probably. So might be an interesting thing to look into. I don't know of any tattoo ink companies that sell quarter-ounce bottles, but I know a few that sell half-ounce bottles for travel sets, all that kind of stuff. And it's great. I absolutely swear by it. You know, cut down on the weight of the stuff that you bring with you, and you're fine. Um, yeah, I'm open to questions. If anyone has any questions about anything, by all means, please let me know, and I will be happy to answer them. Um, yeah. Otherwise, I've got a laundry list of stuff because I'm starting to pack for Hell City today. So yeah, I've got a laundry list of things to start packing. Um, always bring your own razors or anything like that. Um, buy what you need there if you're traveling internationally. Otherwise, if it's a local show and you can drive there, bring all your own stuff. It's nice, it's easy, especially if you're driving there. If you're flying to the show, that's a bit of a different story. Then you're going to want to cut down on things. At Hell City, I do have some time on Sunday available. Yes. Feel free to send me a DM on Instagram right here, and I will be happy to set something up with you at Hell City. So yeah, hit me up and let me know. Well, that's all I really have for you guys today. I did kind of come in and tell you it was going to be a little bit of a shorter session today. So by all means, please feel free to hit me up, shoot me a DM if you guys ever have any questions. Oh, where is it? There it is. Shoot me a DM if you guys have any questions and let me know. And next week we will not have a skill building Monday drawing group because I will be driving back from Hell City. So please note that there will be no live stream next week. But yeah, we will do one the week after that. So until then, keep those hands moving. Be kind to each other, have fun. And for anyone out there that will be at Hell City, I will see you in hell. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a great week, and I will talk to you soon.